Namaste, angels, my fellow Geminis, my fellow twins. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. This is our bi-weekly reading for the period of Monday, October 21st through Sunday, November 3rd. And I am using two oracle decks. The first one is my fortune reading card with an overall energy for us of thorns. Same card that came out in the collective love reading for the week as the overall energy. Thorns, weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. Now, it's all, it is covered in thorns, this card. It's a lot of like trees and branches and stuff. So that may, make somebody think about earth. But for me, this card feels like fire. It even looks like fire. And I can't help but notice the sun beaming in the back. There's something that we need to let it burn. And when we let that thing burn, when we allow something to come to a natural death and end, then what lies ahead of us after that is all about the positive future. That thing that we may have to let die, because we just revealed when I picked this up that the devil is behind it. So maybe some sort of toxic relationship or circumstance, situation, maybe even something going on at work. We have a Nine of Swords in reverse in our placement of work and finance. Maybe somebody may have accused you of something having to do with money, maybe at the job, like they say you stole money from the register, or you messed up some money, but maybe for like in a malicious way. You did something with your timesheet, you try to get extra hours or whatever. Something funky is going on with work and finance. Also, if somebody asks you to borrow money or something, if you have it, loan it to them. Don't lend anybody anything that you don't have that you're going to need back, like to pay your bills or whatever, just in case, because something weird is going on there. This devil can also be representative of the magician in reverse. Sometimes, from a negative perspective, the magician is like a narcissist, a sociopath, representative of a toxic situation or relationship, somebody that's, wearing a false self mask or a mask of deception, living behind a veil, not in touch with reality, that sort of thing. So it could be some sort of toxic situation going on in the area of love and romance, or work and finance, I'd say first and foremost. There could be something going on here with our surrounding energy, friends, family, co-workers, but I wouldn't worry about it because our energy is represented here very strongly. The Queen of Swords upright. She is not to be played with. She is not to be played with. So if something is going on, somebody is trying to get at her in a negative way, she can handle that. But we do want to keep our eyes open about the devil energies around us and take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit, as the card suggests. So also upright is snake. And those of you who are on my Facebook page and stuff, I love snakes. And green snakes are very, very positive when they show up in our dreams and stuff like that. Often connected to, yes, intuition and messages that are coming our way to tell us not to worry. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. But keep your eyes open, like I was saying about the devil. Your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path. But be careful. You can't be walking around with your head in the clouds, not paying attention to what's happening, because people can, predators prey on people who appear vulnerable to them. They watch us and they say, a bunch of people are past this. That's the one I'm going to rob. That's the one I'm going to attack. That's the one I'm going to talk to and manipulate and try to get them to think that I'm interested in being in a genuine relationship with them. But I am a crook, or I am a bum. I need a place to stay. And I don't really, I'm not really interested in this man or woman, something shady. I'm a gold digger, or I'm looking for a sugar daddy, or maybe a sugar mama. We got Queen of Swords here with her back to the Page of Cups. So maybe a much younger interest, male or female. But getting back to these, also upright. So now we're getting to the positive stuff. When we do watch what we're doing, like I said, the green snake is a positive omen, is a good omen. We keep our eyes open, we listen to our intuition. It leads us to positive energy that surrounds us. Love, joy, and good fortune awaits. And for some of us, maybe even Marriage, you're attracting emotional fulfillment and unconditional love. Now, marriage doesn't have to mean we're going to get married within the next 2 weeks. It could, Biggie and Faith were both Geminis like us, and they got married. I think it was within 10 days of meeting each other and everything. So it is possible. But this card otherwise for me is just like a Two of Cups kind of card. So we may meet somebody, start dating. This can just be representative of the deep connection to a person, place, or thing in our life, like we are married to it. But I just feel like it's a positive thing, because we could be married to things in a negative way also. But this is coming through very positive. And also it could be about getting engaged over the next 2 weeks. Also upright, right behind marriage, is proposal. A romantic or business opportunity is indicated. That may be another reason why some of us are nervous, or like I talked about, loaning money. Maybe we're putting money on the line. Maybe we're making some sort of investment, and that's why we're a little worried, because we know it's not really the time to be non-traditional right now with an overall energy of the Hierophant. Not necessarily a time to take a risk, but we are following our divine guidance. Now, another thing that's positive that I didn't know is when I picked up the Hierophant, also upright behind it is the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups can be about marriage, right? Expanding a family, having a baby, being surrounded by friends, family, loved ones, people about, for which we care. It could just be one other person that makes us feel emotionally fulfilled. This is feeling good in some of our relationships. When we successfully, watch our backs, and don't let anybody take advantage of us or come through, on some low key bullshit. Now this is crazy. Behind proposal, so we just saw marriage, right? This is all positive stuff. Cracker, marriage, proposal. Also upright behind that, unity, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. And it's still going. Also upright, owl. There are special messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. So pay attention to your intuition again, which it can be heightened because of the Magician, but is also heightened because of this Page of Cups that represents us. Not to mention the Queen of Swords is super intuitive herself, and may very well also double as the High Priestess, Also upright, or this is the last one, celebrations. You're ready to bring new and exciting things into your life. Wow. So celebrations, just to show you again in what order these cards are. Owl, so divine messages. Unity, so partnership happening. Proposal, here's where the partnership was suggested that we enter into it. But we have a feeling, whether it's just energetic and at the soul level, or in this 3D life of marriage or Two of Cups, maybe dating happening. Based on our positive energy that we put out, that's what we're receiving back, not only in our lives in general, but it looks like in our love lives specifically. When we pay attention to our intuition and follow the divine guidance that we receive, and avoid, knuckleheads and frauds in our life. And where we have been entertaining them, letting those toxic relationships come to an end, letting them burn, and then that gives way to all this positivity that awaits us. So, that could be our reading right there, Gemini, but I'm going to keep going. I'm also using the Keepers of the Light Oracle. And from there, we have an overall energy of Horus, Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. Horus for me is a Virgo. Just like a Jesus energy, but at a higher level. This is a Virgo, very likely. It does not have to be, but it could be representative of that for you. And it could be indicating a need similar to the card that represents the sign of Virgo in the tarot, the Hermit, for you to do some introspection, meditation, because you are about to transition through like a portal, the next phase, start a new beginning phase. And your thoughts, again, are magnetic and powerful. We are manifesting these new beginnings. That's another positive reason for the Magician to be here. Also upright behind that, Kuthumi, Cloak of Wisdom. You already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know, because your intuition, again, is so heightened and on point right now that you know, this any kind of worry is completely unnecessary. You just have to follow, like, trust yourself. Trust that you are this badass that I said, like, is not to be played with, and follow your guidance. Also up right behind that, El Moria, awakening presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. And that's the last one. The next one is upside down. It is Mary Magdalene, though, if you can't see that. Teacher awakening. Okay. So here, most directly representing us, again, we have the Page of Cups. Now, this could be someone with whom we're dealing. Maybe they're in this placement. This is our like major focus. That person may be younger than us, and or a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone like into those traits or attributes. This could be representative of one of our, sun or moon or rising signs if we're not a Gemini sun, or partner with whom we're dealing. This is our most direct focus over the next 2 weeks, the Page of Cups. And so when the Page of Cups shows up, anything that was going shitty is about to get better. So like, for example, the Nine of Swords could be here in this work and finance position because maybe we've been having trouble at work. Maybe we've been getting in trouble again. Somebody may have said we messed up some money or something, or we stole some money. And if you did not, you better be this Queen of Swords that crosses this Nine of Swords and clear your name and, go the legal route if you have to. Like, take it to whatever level it has to go. Because, again, she cannot be played with. She cannot be, not only not be played with, but not be played. You can't, treat her like a chump. If she didn't do this, she's going to stand up for herself. And she's going to win and embarrass you. But in the case where you've been having difficulty at work for whatever reason, or maybe conflict with somebody or something, to the extent that it matters, the Page of Cups shows up atop that card now and just makes everything better. Things are about to improve, even in the office where they've been difficult for those of us for which they have been difficult recently. At the same time, Magician, who represent for me the sign of Gemini, and not only for me, traditional practice. So this too is our energy, and it could be this Queen of Swords of the person that's wearing the false self mask. We got to be careful. That could be us. And with the Page of Cups and the Queen of Swords here sort of back to back, it could mean that we've been taking ourselves like too seriously, and maybe taking life too seriously too. We need to unwind, be a little bit more youthful, a little bit more fun and lighthearted, and that's really our true energy as mutable signs. We are this lighthearted type also, but maybe we need to get over ourselves because we've been wearing a false self mask too and just going a little bit too hard, like we're dragging it. And so the Page of Cups shows up to say, calm down, relax, have some fun, enjoy life. It's not that serious. If our job is not getting better, coming back to this Page of Cups with the Nine of Swords in reverse, then maybe we're getting a new job, something, we're getting an offer that's going to make us smile, that's going to make us happy, have a level of emotional fulfillment, maybe doing something that we love, that we enjoy, a promotion, a transfer. So when I say it'll get better, it doesn't necessarily mean better exactly where you are right now doing what you're doing, but your work life is about to get better if it has been difficult. As it relates to love, especially if we are dealing with somebody who is, if not younger than us, then, more youthful, at least behaving in a more youthful and fun way, we may need to be careful not to be too forceful, to be more traditional, in terms of maybe the masculine is the aggressor, the feminine is not, with the Hierophant showing up, like for us to not be too bossy and to push it. Keep in mind, like the old saying, you get more flies with honey than with vinegar, I think it is, right? So this would be like the vinegar, this kind of funky attitude. And again, keep things lighthearted and encouraging and fun, have a good sense of humor about you, and we'll have more luck in love. That's really the only thing that the Queen of Swords has to worry about in terms of love. Sometimes when the Queen of Swords shows up in relation to love, it can be about a mother or mother figure butting her nose into your relationships, whether it's the mate with whom you're interested or your own. And she might not even mean to do it on purpose, but it's happening potentially and affecting it in a negative way. And maybe that's why Magician is in reverse here and the Nine of Swords is in reverse here too. And there's worry and concern. Speaking of the nine specifically as it relates to love, you may be worried about lying, distrust in your relationship. You may feel like your partner hasn't kept it real with you. Maybe that's why they're showing up as the Magician in reverse, because they've been a liar. If you think that that's true, you're the Queen of Swords. Again, you're going to want to try to get to the bottom of it. It's a good time to look into it or to have a conversation. Speaking of conversation, several times as I was shuffling, I saw a card in this deck. Let me see if I can find it. It's called Mercury, which is our ruler, right? The planet Mercury. Open communication. So some of us need to have some kind of talk. I meant to mention that at the beginning. Here he is. Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. So some of us or our mates may need to get a weight off our chest. We're going to want to be like welcoming to that, encouraging of that if we've had feelings of distrust here, or maybe they with us, if they want to approach us, because maybe we're the Magician in reverse. They want to ask us like, what's up with you? I have concerns, or, something doesn't seem right or whatever. It's time for open communication, from us to them to clear up a matter if we're interested in maintaining relationships and continuing them. Otherwise, that may be what we need to let burn with the thorns. And lastly, the Magician in reverse itself in relation to love can mean that we're sort of like ready to give up. We're losing faith. We're ready to give up on our ability to either maintain relationships or attract new relationships. If we're single, to find a man, to find a woman, we just keep, striking out. And that can be true of the Queen of Swords in general. I think particularly, like first and foremost, Aquarius, they have the hardest trouble, finding and keeping a mate. Gemini and then Libra, probably in that order, although as the air signs go, as honest and fair and all reasonable and all that as they're known to be, Libra has a reputation for like cheating and lying. You can that's not me. You can check that out, like traditional astrology and zodiac stuff, trivia. So because of that, it can be difficult for air signs to find meaningful relationships. Also, when we're dealing with other people, for example, water signs, and I know like especially like the sign of Scorpio, for example, they are so deep and like emotional and spiritual that they think that they're the only ones like that. They think that we're not like that we don't have really like much feeling or much depth, that we're very superficial people. Not all of them, think that, and not all of and they don't think that about all of us. But it's a common thing having to do with the zodiac. Because of how we carry ourselves, they think that we're just like surface level people. And so that's a reason also why we sometimes have difficulty in relationships, because people, especially like a water sign, again, will feel that we are not expressing love. Oh, this person doesn't even care about me. They're not showing it. They're not expressing it. I have conversations. As a matter of fact, I have a very good friend. There's a Scorpio female, one of my best friends. Actually loaned some money today too. But I'm not worried about anything showing up negative in relation to my loaning my friend money or anything like that. But yeah, she's a Scorpio and she's dealing with a Libra. And so I'm always having conversations with her to try to explain like his feelings, like his way of expressing love or his love language doesn't look like yours, but that's okay. There's a song called More Than Words. It's probably written by an air sign. It's like more than words, or by a water sign rather, is all you have to do, like to make it real, to show me that you love me. If you showed me, then you wouldn't have to say it if you're not comfortable saying it, because I'd already know. So there's that makes it difficult for us to maintain relationships. But you're going to want to get out of that negative and funky frame of thought, if that's where you're going with it. And because otherwise, again, we're the magician still, even if he is in reverse. So we do have the potential to manifest what our thoughts are. So if your thoughts are negative, if your thoughts are, I can't find a man, I can't find a woman, then you won't. If your thoughts are positive, I deserve love, I'm lovable, I love myself, and I'm ready to love other people, I'm ready to both give it and receive it, then that's what we will manifest. So if we're already in a relationship also, the card can be talking about us being afraid to have a conversation and hesitant to discuss something that we've needed to maybe for a while and been sweeping over the rug. It's going to be important for us to be, confident and brave at this time, that we can address these things. Again, open communication, like that Mercury card that showed up. Further to our reading this 2 weeks, speaking of masculine rather, speaking of being brave and confident, it is Lion, so which is a very Leo or strength-like energy for me, obviously. Harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. This means that we have the ability to face whatever comes our way. That's for you, masculine. And maybe you are dealing, again, with a fire sign, and even more specifically, the sign of Leo. We've got this sun very brightly in this card. The Earth's sun, or the Earth's star, the sun, rules the sign of Leo. Feminine. Birth. So it's the beginning of something new. Universal energy brings you opportunity and possibility. Let something close, a chapter end, and something new will begin. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine. Hope. So again, don't give up faith. Don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. We got to maintain that. Love and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Didn't I just say I deserve love? I want to give it. That's what we have to think. Choose loving thoughts. And that's how you're going to manifest loving energy around yourself. And lastly, this is if this is in Gemini energy, I don't know what is. The Miriam, as in like Mariama. Sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all, and remember that love has no boundaries. I hope that you guys have a good 2 weeks, Gemini. I'll be back for us again in 2 more weeks. Thank you for joining, liking, and subscribing to the channel. Again, I do appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you found the video helpful, or if you liked it, or certainly if both occurred, if you liked it and you found it helpful, absolutely give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And if you're interested in any services from me, readings, energy healing, merchandise, I'm going to have all that stuff in the description box. And I appreciate that too. Namaste.